wiped out the civil rights movement. I'm going to single-handedly theorize and wiped out the white. Because they finally realized that brothers and sisters' rhetoric was inconsistent with their behavior. And they realized that brothers and sisters' rhetoric could be altered by the consequences. By the consequences. So at first they were taking us real serious. We'll burn this place down. And they found out they could wipe that brother out by asking him how much. How much money you want? How much y'all want for the Black Studies program? How many airline tickets y'all want? And so that's strictly a Skinnerian thing. And they carried it much further. And out of that came Skinner articulated that it is possible to delude people in believing that they have the essence of life, namely, and that's where he wrote his book, Beyond Freedom and Dignity, which you should read. Because what Skinner talked about is that everything black, and he talked about blacks in that, he wrote about blacks in that book. And he talked about in there that beyond freedom and dignity, that you can give people freedom and dignity, or concepts of freedom and dignity, and still control them. Still control them. And that's why he said beyond freedom and dignity. Give black folks freedom and dignity. They keep saying they want freedom, they want dignity. Give it to them and still control them. And so, why you cannot use traditional white techniques? Because it assumes an inherent equality between blacks and whites. So let's go into some of the, and I always use, to show you clearly how Mentacide operates. I've used so many examples that many of you know. I'm going to try to think of some, I'm going to try to give some different ones now. Some I see right now. The top basketball teams right now in this country, DePaul, UCLA and all, Alabama, if you look at them, Alabama, UCLA, and DePaul, the first 7 or 8 starters on those teams are blacks. Black boys. Yet these are white schools, just like University of Washington here. White schools. The question must be asked, because this is Mentacide. Since 8 black boys out of 10 on the basketball team at a white school, what are the white boys doing? At a white school, what are the white boys doing? Tell me, we don't have 80% of the medical school student body. We don't have 80% of the law school student body. Why should we have 80% of the basketball team? That's Mentacide. They bring black students into these schools for many reasons. And they use them as you use cannon fodder and spit them out the same way. And that becomes Mentacide. They take our best brains, our particularly best brains, and through the Mentacide process, for example, University of Chicago accepted, one student in medical school last year, and they stated that they had one black student in a University of Chicago medical school this last year, and they stated that they had accepted 10. We took those 10 students, names and all, and guess what we found? That Harvard, the University of Chicago, University of California, all of them had accepted the same 10 students. All of them accepted the same damn 10 students, knowing that those 10 students can't go everywhere. And so when you go up in that child, no, but see, Dr. Wright, since you're an alumni of this medical school, we took in 10 students. See, here's our letter. And you took those 10 and sent to Harvard, so send me your 10. And look down at the name, same name, they accepted. And so that's that type of gentleman. That type of stuff is what I'm talking about in terms of Mentacide. Now, about the, I always use the example of Notre Dame about the basketball, and then to get us into what y'all like is the prettiest part about this. I saw Notre Dame play basketball once, and 5 black boys was on the team. You all know about basketball, fast breaks and all. And they were losing the game, so they did what Washington will not do. They put all the 5s out at one time. That's why Washington keeps losing. So Notre Dame's losing and announced they're pro-Irish, and finally they put the 5 brothers in, they start winning. The brothers go down and, they go down to the other team, shoot a basket, two points down, shoot a basket. Notre Dame team grabs the ball, these 5 brothers start down the street, down the court, and the announcer went crazy. Here come the Irish, here come the Irish, here come the Irish, 5 black boys. 5 black boys. And that's indicative of how they got us. They have us identified in so many ways, in so many segments in the black community, that we're divided so many ways that the whole concept of unity, it keeps eluding us. Keeps eluding us. And so I'm going to say a couple of things that you all should. I rarely say slogans. But here's some slogans you should remember. I mean, here's some things you should remember all the time. If you know better, you should do better. It's very simple about Mentacide. I mean, you yourself have to understand what's happening to you. And you can't say, I've got free will. I have free will because, see, I can go pick my classes. I can do this, I can do that. That's not free will. You're programmed. You only have a certain number of classes to pick from anyway. You don't have to take no classes. You don't go out and make no class schedules. You can't pick the time those classes meet. I guarantee that. And that's why so many brothers and sisters are in trouble. This morning, these students had me up at 6 o'clock, you know, after going to bed at 4. And I'm walking across the campus this morning at 8 o'clock, 8:30. You know, I think we met one brother. And I started running and said, what the hell are you doing out here? You know, I mean, these white students running over us. Over us. And I'm looking around brothers and sisters, nobody on the campus. I mean, you know what I'm saying? What the hell with a black student? I know somebody's got 8 o'clock class. You know, all y'all can't have 12 o'clock classes. I mean, you know, the other thing is about the problem. Let me first talk about the problem. The problem is very simple in terms of counteracting Mentacide. We need to develop, and if you read Cruz that I did last night, we need to develop a social theory. That's what we need, a black social theory. A black social theory. We need to develop a black social theory because of an old African proverb. Social theory means it dictates the behavior and the direction of life. Everybody have everybody have their social theory. Every white group has their social theory. Italians have one social theory. Jews have another one. Irish have another, and that's what makes them Italian, Jews, and Irish. Is their social theory. You can't have, and we're around here believing we can have Jewish social theory, an Islam social theory, a Christian social theory. You can't do that. That's where the division comes. And so we must have a black social theory because the African proverb states, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. See, you don't know where you're going, take any road. And that's what we're doing. We don't know where the hell we're going, so we take any road. Just run down the street. And you know, like if you don't know your way out of here, Malcolm forbid, you know, just take any route. Like me, I don't know why the hell to get back to that hotel over there, somewhere on there. So if you all don't tell me I don't get a cab, I can start walking in the direction and got just as much chance of stumbling into it. In fact, Reverend Jackson, you know, they put him around the country, Reverend Jesse Jackson, these signs on alcoholism. And this one sign he has, we might crawl to freedom, we might crawl, run, walk, but we will not stumble to freedom. I'm convinced that unless we do this, that's the very way we're going to get there, stumble into it. I mean, there ain't no other way. It's no other way. You just can't look for luck for stuff like this. You have to build a social theory. So you have to know where you're going. Some other thing come because on Saturday I was dealing with the Black United Front